Hi, welcome to another Blazing Shop series episode. I am Patrick, and today we are talking about a search box or a search bar, whatever the perfect name for this thing is. In essence, we've got an input, we type in some text, and we get products back from the web service. And I would say I show you already what I mean by that on the screen. You see the shop is here already, and we got this big input text here, this text field, and we can enter something. For instance, hitch, and we get the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. We can click on this thing, and then we directly get to this product. Or, of course, we can also write something like fiction, because in the description of these books, there is the word fiction, and then we can, for instance, select Ready Player One, and then we get this book. Or another example would be to search for a game, and then we can buy Half-Life 2. So this is the idea in this case. I know there are, of course, other options to do a search in a shop. For instance, we could display a complete result of products or anything like that. But this time in this episode, I want to show you this thing. And for that, we will utilize the Blazored.Typeahead package from or by Chris Sainty. So again, kudos to Chris, really great stuff. And before we start, I'd really appreciate it if you click the like button, maybe even subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to also activate the bell so you get a notification for every new video I upload. And apart from that, there's also a newsletter you might be interested in. In this newsletter, I promise I won't spam you. At max, I send an email maybe once a week, but it's rather once a month. And in this newsletter, you get, of course, information like this thing here, like this series or new series, YouTube videos, new playlists maybe from my channel in your inbox, and also free access or discounts to courses I make, like the upcoming e-commerce course, the Blazor e-commerce course. But if you already want to dive deeper into Blazor, you might want to have a look at the Blazor full stack bootcamp, the Blazor WebAssembly full stack bootcamp, where we build a browser game. You can see it here. There's a 2-hour preview available on YouTube, or just check out the link in the video description. And then I'm done with that. Thank you very much for supporting me, for everyone buying me a coffee. I will love you forever. Thank you so much. Maybe you want to buy me a coffee too. Got one here. Really need this. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to do this. And have you seen this sweet sign here? Got this for Father's Day from my wife, because our son is 1 year old now. So maybe he had something to do with that. I don't know. So thank you very much. And now let's dive into the code. So here's our solution. I closed every single tab. I turned to the master branch because I had this prepared in another branch, but now we do this together, of course. And the very first thing we can do is actually start with the backend, because, well, the idea is that we enter just some text, and then we send this text to the service, of course, and then we get some products back. And for that, we add a new function to our product service, and this thing, let's call this thing simply search products with this return type here, task and a list of products. Call this search product, and the string here, we simply call this search text. And then we go to our product service here and implement this. If Visual Studio wants to, yep. Implement interface. Now we should have the function. Yeah, there it is. That's an asynchronous function. And this is quite small. We simply return wait context products, and then where, and we can actually do, well, in there you can do whatever you want to do. But in my case, I think it makes sense to check if the title contains the search text and maybe also the description of the product. So product description contains, and then the search text, and then we turn this into a list, and that's it for our service already. And then of course we need a new controller method to call this thing, and this is also rather small. It's a get method, and that's why we can copy the get product method, for instance. And in here, the route now should be search and then the search text. So the complete route would be then API, the controller name, so products, and then search, and then the actual search text. We return a list of products, so we can change the return type to a list products, and the method is called also search products, and then we add the string here again, search text. And in here now we simply call search products, actually products. Let me change that in a second. Yeah, like that. And let's fix this typo here. Search products. Okay, so we got the interface covered, the service, the implementation class, and the product controller. Now let's save all this. And then the app is running. I don't know, did it? Yeah, it rebuilt the app already. Maybe we can have a quick look already. So when we now go to API, product, search, and then maybe Hitch. Yeah, this already works. That's nice. And what if we want to get all our fiction books? Then we get them like that. Okay, so the backend already is done. That was easy, right? And now the client. And for that we have to stop the app because we want to add a NuGet package. So we right click our client project, or you can do it with the console. That's totally up to you. And simply go to manage NuGet packages, and then we browse Blazored, and then here's the history, Typeahead. That's the correct one, a Typeahead component for Blazor applications. Now I gotta say, maybe this is something you would rather use in an edit form. So simply you have, I don't know, lots of products, for instance, and you want to look for one specific product, and you have a form where you want to enter this product, and then you would use this Typeahead control. But I think this is a really great component. So we can also do it for the search bar. I mean, why not? We can, if you want to write it down in the comments, please, then we can add another search where we really get a result page with a bunch of options then. So maybe if you type in fiction, hit return, and then want to see all 3 results on a page, we can do that as well, of course. But for now, for this episode, I think this is also quite useful here. So Blazor.Typeahead, that's it. And we can also, let me just have a quick look on the actual GitHub page. There it is. And here you can see this is how it looks. You can also do it with a submit, for instance, and with a submit button, I mean. And then regarding the setup, that's why I wanted to open this. We have to add something to our index.html. For one, it's the CSS, so the style sheet, and then also JavaScript, and also maybe use a using directive here in the imports razor. So let's simply use this here and copy and paste it. That's easier. It is installed now. So we go to the index.html. Here's our style sheet, and now here we got the script again in the index.html. And then we add this little using directive, or this little reference in our imports. Where is it? Imports razor, there it is. All right, and that's for the configuration. And now regarding the usage, you see there is a lot documented already here on the GitHub page. There's a simple example here in an edit form, and we will use it for our search bar with a remote data, or similar to the remote data example. So let's simply do this now, and first save this stuff, and then we go to the top menu component. Here it is. And now regarding the top menu, I just want to see an input field, an input text box, where we can enter again as the search text, and then see the result as an autocomplete. So in this dropdown, we see all the products that fit this search text, and then we choose one of them and we directly get to this product. And to realize that now, we first have to add something here on the client, and maybe before we change the top menu, actually, we also have to change the service here, the product service here. So similar to the server project, we need service methods here to make the actual call. We could do this, of course, in the component, but let's maybe be a little bit organized here. So let's add real quick another method here to the iProduct service. Again, it's task list products, search products, and search text, like that. And then in the implementation class, that's funny, I was a bit too quick. Of course, we need the string search text. And then again, this is an asynchronous one. And now here we do, of course, the HTTP call, so return await, and then HTTP get JSON, or get from JSON async. We get a list of products, and the URL now is API product search, and then search text. Okay, and with that now finally out of the way, we can cover the top menu with the Blazored.Typeahead. Again, I just want to add a simple input field for that. And the easiest way to do that would be, we call the Blazored.Typeahead component, or we use it here. This thing needs a search method. We will call this method search product, and this thing needs a model or a variable, anything that it can bind to. So bind value would be then not the search, the selected products, like that, maybe in lowercase. And then with that, there is some stuff we have to do inside this component. It needs a selected template. So for that, we simply use the title, and with context, this is the current item, the current model, object, whatever you like to call it, that is selected. So from our product, we get the title, and maybe let's add the variable here first. So this would be the product selected product. And now we should see, no, we don't. Well, I thought that we see now that this is a product type, but okay, that's not the case here. But anyways, this is now the product, and then we have a result template. So this is how our results should look like, and this is in essence exactly the same. And then there's also a not found template. So if the result is empty, we can enter something like, sorry, there weren't any products found. Okay, and maybe also let's add the search product method. So down here, we can say private async task, and then I think this thing already has to, yeah, this function has to return an enumerable. So this works with our lists, and then product, also call it search product with the, again, search text. And then here we simply say our response is await product service search products with the search text like that, and we return the response. Okay, let me save everything. And we do not have injected the product service, that's why here's an error. So let's inject the product service. We did not do this. So now it's necessary, of course, and now this should work. Yeah, okay. So we got our method covered here, and now we also see the type. Okay, it was because of the error here. Now we see that the context is the actual product, and this product has a bunch of properties, of course, and now we can use the title. Sorry if this is a bit confusing. Maybe I need more coffee. Okay. So we got our search product method, we got the Blazored.Typeahead, one of the most important things here, I guess. And we're not done, but let's have a quick look already. So with .NET Watch Run, we start this thing, and then we have a look at Chrome. All right, there we are. Let's open the console just in case there is something fishy here. And now I can, yeah, cool. This already works. So when I open the network tab, I see the call. And here now, for instance, with fiction, I get three results back. But the thing is, well, I can select this, but nothing happens, right? So this state is great if you're using an edit form, for instance, and then you just want to store the results in a certain variable. But actually, we want to do something with that. So I want to click on a result and then go straight to the selected product. And for that, as you can see at the GitHub page, let me open the GitHub page again. There it is. Here is something or a section called subscribing to changes in selected values, and here you have to set some stuff manually, and now we do exactly that. So back to Visual Studio, and what we now want to do is we not only want to just use the search method and bind to this value, we actually have to skip this and enter some more parameters. Now first we set the actual value, and this is the selected product again, and then we also have a value changed event, and for that event we call another method. In our case we will call this method handle search. Then we've got a value expression that has to be set, and you can see this also in the documentation. And for that, we simply use this lambda expression here, selected a product. One thing that is not necessary is a placeholder. We can use, of course, so something like that maybe. And then we also, in our case, have to set the t value and the t item. So t value here is product, and t item is also product. So now this should work, and of course the handle search method here, let's add it down here. And for that, we simply call it private void handle search. This gives us then a new product. And first we check if the actual product is null. Then we simply return. Could be the case, of course. And then we set the selected product. And then we want to navigate to the product page. For that, we have to inject another thing, and that would be the navigation manager. Call it navigation manager, like that. Yep. And now here we can say navigation manager, navigate to, and then we choose the URL, which looks like that. We've got products and then selected product and then the ID. Okay, and this should be the necessary change. Page is reloading. You see the placeholder now, that's sweet. So let's look for a fiction book now. Ready Player One, we hit return, this works. That's great. What if we want to look for another thing? A game, Half-Life 2. Have a look at pay attention to the address bar. Half-Life 2, whoop. URL has changed, but the navigation did not work. So this is one little thing, one more thing we have to change, and then we're done, I promise. We have to go to the product details, and here, you see it here, this lifecycle method, uninitialized async, is used here, but when this component is already initialized or has been initialized, then a change in the URL would not re-render this component. So what we can do here instead of using uninitialized async is on parameters set async. I think this is the name. Let me have a quick look because we used it already. Yep, in the index we used it as well. So this should be the correct function now. Did it yeah, it rebuilt. So let's go to home again. Let me look for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. And now in here, we can search for a fiction book again, 1984 for instance. And now the search also works here on the product page. And that's it. There you have it. So this is one option, one possibility to realize a search. Again, there are other options, different options too, of course. So if you want to see them, maybe we can build something together somehow. I think maybe with an input text and then a data list HTML element, we can realize something else and then another component, another page. I don't know. I think there is a nice solution for that. But if you enjoyed this and you learned something, maybe you want to click the like button and subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate that. Thank you very much for subscribing to my newsletter, and thank you very much for everyone buying me a coffee. This really supports me, my family, this YouTube channel. This is really, really great. Thank you so much. And again, if you want to dive deep into Blazor WebAssembly, you see the thumbnail behind me. There is a Blazor WebAssembly full stack bootcamp where we built an online browser game, a classic online browser game where users can register. We are using JSON Web Tokens for authentication. Users can then build an army of users, not of users, of units, fighters, archers, knights, mages, and so on, and they can fight against each other, climb the leaderboard, lots of fun stuff. So maybe if you want to have a look, there's a 2-hour preview. Again, check out the info card or the link in the video description. And apart from that, thank you very much for watching. Thanks for your time, and I'll see you next time. Take care.